today's gardening and prepping. My name is Teresa. It's a beautiful, sunny, clear day, but it's a great push to get as much harvested as possible before the freezes come tonight and the next 2 days. So unfortunately, it's time to tell the toothache plant goodbye for this year and harvest as much of it as I can. And we're going to make some infused oil for numbing and pain for wounds. So let's adjust the camera and get over here and get busy harvesting. This is a gorgeous patch of toothache plant grown in the 50-gallon grow bag. I am extremely impressed with the grow bag and how well they done. Oh, that's interesting. This is something to know for next year. It was trying to root and start more plants. I might try to root those and grow them over the winter. Who knows? I hate to see them go. I really do. Man, what up, things? It's rooted all over the place. Oh, the mother of thyme smells good. I rubbed on it while harvesting. Yep, look at that. That branch was on the ground. Look at the root system on that. Let's see, can you see it? Here we go. See, look at the roots. So now you know that these could be propagated probably by definitely by cuttings. And could possibly do it in water or laying them down on the ground. That one is rooted all over the place. Very good information. Very, very good information to know. Okay, I'm going to move the camera and go over here and harvest this side. And as you can see, the mother of thyme's doing wonderful, even though it was shadowed over. Now, I will say that finding them already rooted like this, if you had a warm place for them to grow in your house, you could overwinter these, cut them back real good, because they'll branch back, they'll send leaves out. Everywhere that stem touched the ground. It rooted and rooted very well. And if you see, you could take this in your house, of course potted up, and it would send out more shoots here on the sides, and you could overwinter them. you notice I still have flower heads all on them. Some are going for seed heads because, yep, I'm not making that mistake again of not saving seeds. And I'm going to make one last pint jar of toothache medicine, which y'all, I've done made 2 pints already. Alrighty, I'm gonna go harvest the rest of them, because I have 3 more pots of them over there. I'm gonna harvest them all because they'll die tonight. And I will see you back in the shed of many names. See you soon. Okay, welcome back, y'all. I have already harvested the toothache plant, and for the love of God, people, I wash my plant material. I do. So please don't ask. It should be a given that I wash it. Lordy, y'all. Alright, now, what we're going to do with this toothache plant material is I'm going to make a infused olive oil. I have my double boiler here. Look at that beautiful, deep double boiler. I looked up and found it at an antique store. Now, unfortunately, the lid messed up, so I used another lid for it. But you want to make sure that you have enough water in the bottom part. And during the making of the infused oil, which is going to take at least 4 hours, keep an eye on your water level, because you do not want this pot to go dry of water and mess your double boiler up. Now, with that being said, my plant material has wilted down, which is fine because it means the medicinal benefits are still in the plant, but a lot of the water has evaporated out. And the less water, and of course you want to make sure they're all dry, the less water in your oil brings a longer shelf life. So, I'm going to pick it off. Now, you want to go through, find any bad leaves, put them in your bucket for your compost pile. Now, I'm leaving the little bitty tops flowers of the toothache plant, but these bigger ones, that's called seed stock for next year. I just gotta let them dry, because, yeah, I didn't do the foolish thing this year again and harvest all my flowers, make toothache tincture with it, and totally forgot to save seed stock back. I only get burnt once, and then I learned my lesson. Alright, let's aim the camera down so you can see what I'm doing. Now what I'm going to do is cut the stems up into small pieces, because even though the more medicinal is in the flower heads, the leaves and the stalks still have the medicine in them. And I'm going to add this to my salve mixes for pain. It will help with numbing and help with the pain of any wounds, rashes or so, and it'll come in handy. And of course it will be listed in the ingredients of the salves as well. And that one goes for seed stock. And the smaller pieces, the less work the oil has to do to pull that medicine out. Now don't throw them in no blender, because that's just not good. Alright, there's another seed head. Well, not seed head, but flower head. Because it's too small, and I didn't have really enough to make another batch of tincture. So, go through, check for dead leaves, check over. I might hold off on some of these, put them aside, and see if I do have enough to make another batch of tincture. Now I'm going to infuse this on top of my stove. I want the water in my double boiler to just barely simmer. You don't want it to boil crazy. Just a very light simmer, and that way your oil doesn't get too hot. Because you don't want your oil getting really hot. And those stems that I have found rooted, I cut those off, and you better believe I'm going to see if I can't make them live over the winter. I'll put them in family's house so they'll stay warm. But you don't want to waste anything. Yeah. And if I don't end up with enough flower heads to make another pint of toothache tincture, then I will add them back into the pot. And like I said, you just keep on working, keep on working. Looking for bad leaves. Of course, a lot of these leaves look rough after setting up for a while. Because believe me, I got a lot of plant material to put up and have been working steady trying to get it all up so it's not wasted. And of course, tonight's the last of the cold nights, then we warm all up. Now, I did leave in the ground the roots of the main plants. There's a small chance, and I mean small because these are tropical plants, there's a small chance that they survive down in the soil. And since we're going to start warming up tomorrow, they might pop back up because we don't have a frost coming no time soon, y'all. So I might get a small another batch. Who knows? I'm going to keep going. Uh-oh, that's bugging me. I saw it. Get it while I can. Now, I'm going to keep working. And I will bring you back when I get this pot full and I get through all of my plant material, because I still have little more to go through. And I'll bring you back as soon as I'm done. See you here in a bit. Okay, finally got that whole cram full milk crate of toothache plants processed. I was blessed to get 1 pint jar of tincture, so that gives me 3 pint jars worth of tincture. I got a little pile of seed heads, which this is way more seed than you think it is. Those I'm going to let dry out. So I'll have seed for next year, y'all. Important to save your seeds. Now, with that being said, this is full. And I'm going to say it's about a 1-to-1 ratio of plant material to olive oil. Now, I do not use extra virgin. It is notorious for going rancid a whole lot faster. So I use 100% pure plain olive oil, y'all. You don't need it all that virgin-y. So, with that being said, this is 3 liters of olive oil, and I'm going to see how much I can get into my pan. Give me a minute, well, to my pot. Give me a minute, I'm going to adjust camera and get standing up. Okay, y'all can get a bird's eye view now. Alright, I'm going to take my olive oil, and yes, I've already opened it up because I didn't want to fight with it. I don't know where you came from. Get out of there. And this is going to be a very good, strong batch. Now, I'm going to put it on my stove here in a bit. Medium flame to start out with. Once my water starts simmering in the bottom part, I'm going to cut the flame down because I want my water to barely be simmering. Any higher, your oil's going to get too hot and ruin the batch. This is too much olive oil, too expensive at that too. Too much olive oil, and I can't replace the plant material because, well, that's the end of it. And this is going to be a very strong batch, I'm telling you that right now. And that's what you want, especially when you're making salves, and that's what I'm going to be making with this. Now I'm going to put a lid on top of it because I'm trying to infuse all of the oil with the plant material, and if you don't cover it up, it's going to evaporate out. So with that being said, also wanted to mention that all the little baby flower heads that were too small to go into the tincture, they are in here as well. Didn't waste anything. And I'm going to let this infuse depending on how long it takes for everything to look like it is thoroughly cooked. It's giving up the ghost, so it's going to be 4 to 6 hours. I will let you know as soon as it's done. Now, you're going to want a heavy-duty spoon to stir to make sure no air bubbles in there, which really is not going to hurt anything, but you want to make sure that all the plant material is soaked into the olive oil, and make sure you have a saucer beside it. That way when you put your spoon on it, even though you've drained all the oil back into the pan off your spoon, it's still going to gather some, and that way you can keep putting that olive oil back into the pot. Alright, I will bring you back as soon as this oil is infused, and I'll see you after a while. Okay, welcome back everyone. I let the oil infuse for a good almost 7 hours last night because I wanted to make sure that it infused very well. Never boiled it. It simmered. The water in the bottom part of my double boiler, I let the water simmer, not boil, and that way the oil stayed good and warm. It did not overheat because you don't want to ruin your oil at all. And with that being said, I let it sit overnight, cool down, stirred the plant material earlier, and now I've let the plant material sink back to the bottom of the pan, and I'm going to get what oil is on the top, and then I'm going to start straining it with the bigger strainer to get the plant material out. But for now, I'm going to use the little strainer. And I told y'all I have a canning funnel. I just had to find it. They hide in the shed very well because I need to reorganize the shed. Okay, let's get busy. I have my oil here, my infused toothache plant oil. I have a bigger pot and a strainer once I get into the plant material because I'll have to double strain it. I have a measuring cup to help pour. I have my canning funnel, half a gallon clean sanitized jar, my filterless coffee filter, and I have slightly warmed my oil back up because it makes it easier to strain and pour. And I'm going to add 6 1,000 units of vitamin E oil into the jar, and that's for preservative. I use that as a preservative. Good grief! Apparently, it's train and plane night, and like I said, my oil is slightly heated, which makes it so much easier to work with. And regardless how you try, you're still gonna lose some oil. But look how beautiful and dark that is. It infused beautifully. And I want to try to keep as much plant material out of this funnel or filter as possible. And with this having plant material in it, I'm going to go and start using that funnel or strainer. Let me tell you, it smells so wonderful. And yes, it does catch the big ones, but you can see the little bitty plant material in there. And you definitely want to keep all the plant material out of your oil. Now I'm going to go in and add my vitamin E here because it's just ever slightly warm and that will help mix it. And you just want to nip the gel caps and squeeze vitamin E out. You want to make sure you get it all out of your capsule. And like I said, this helps as a preservative. I always want to keep paper towels handy, because once you get enough of the oil on you, it gets slippery. Okay, and that's the 6 vitamin E caps. Put my lid back on my jar. Let's see if I can get And like I said, no matter how hard you try, this is a messy job. It really is. But look at that. You see that? It's worth every bit of the mess. Okay. I can't do any more with that at the moment. And I have a strainer to catch most of all of the big plant material. The smaller plant material will be caught with this strainer. Now I'll bring you back as soon as I get my stir spoon from over on the other side of the shed. Okay, this is my heavy duty spoon. And I'll show you here in a minute why I need it. And you're going to want something that's heavy duty. Metal is really good. If you have a sealed wooden spoon, that's good. If it's not sealed, I wouldn't use it, because each time you go to use it for the munching of the plant material, that oil will soak into that unprotected wood, and you could cross-contaminate oils. So One of many reasons I wouldn't do it. I'm going to tell you, there's a pretty good chance you're not going to get all the oil out. You can try. You can get almost all of it out. Now this is why you need a heavy-duty spoon. You want to mush as much of the oil out of the plant material as possible. Now, you saw how much plant material I started with. You see how much it has cooked down. The leaves are fairly translucent. The stems are absolutely soft as can be. And I'm going to keep mushing and mushing as much of this oil out as can be. Now, since it's olive oil, it's a natural oil, you can put this in your compost pile. So, just remember it, and you'll want to mix it in really good. So, I will bring you back as soon as I get all of this mushed out as best as I can. Okay, also forgot to mention, wear old clothing, because if you get the oil on you, it's going to stain your clothes. Look how dark and rich that oil is. Now, it has a lot of little pieces of plant material in it. So, we're definitely going to strain it through the filterless coffee filter. And they just don't make measuring cups like they used to. Now, if it holds true to fashion, I will get a half a gallon and part of a pint full of amazing infused olive oil infused with the toothache plant. Now, this is not essential oil, people. It is not a tincture. This oil is to be used, can be used as a pain massage oil, which it's more for numbing than for a whole lot of pain. But you do not take this as a tincture. You do not, people. That is not what it's for. And no, I'm not going to be canning this up. I'm getting as much of the oil, if it got on the rim, off. And do not use vinegar, because you do not want any vinegar in that. Look at that beautiful, dark, rich oil. And all the little pieces of plant material. I think I'm going to have to go. I really don't want to. We might have to use another pint jar, or I'll have to find a jelly jar. And of course your filterless filter will start straining a little slower because it's catching all that plant material. But if you have your oil just a little bit warm, it will strain a whole lot easier. You don't want it hot, because then you risk burning yourself. And that defeats the purpose of making the medicinal oil, because you don't want to be healing yourself, if possible. And I'm going to put, not that many, I'm going to be putting 2 of the 1,000 units of vitamin E in this pint jar. And that's going to be plenty enough to help extend its shelf life. And this is another reason why I have the oil warm. That way I can get the vitamin E oil to blend in easier. And if you notice, this time I'm wiping my fingers and not all over my hands, because this is going to be for making, whoa, caught myself, other salves for people. So, no rubbing it all on me. Yep. I'm going to get a half a gallon in 2 pint jars. Let me go grab another jar. Be right back. Okay, I ended up going on and wiping the rim of this jar and getting a lid on it. And like I said, try to get as much of the oil as you can. You want to waste any if possible. And it looks like I'm going to have a second pint. Oh ho ho. I come up a little high. That is such beautiful, dark infused oil. I am very thankful for this. Like I said, it's a messy job, but I love doing it. It's worth it. This one's gonna be close, y'all. Okay. Hot soapy water. Good soap. Good soap will get all of this cleaned up. It'll get it out of your filter as well. Wonderful blessing here. Let me get my vitamin E. If I don't do it now, I'll forget. And of course, my counter's sanitized. Always make sure that your workspace is clean and sanitized. And so are your hands. Your scissors, anything, your spoon, anything that you use, make sure that it is clean and sanitized. And there we go. Now, I can rub the vitamin E on my hands because I'm done touching. Well, I didn't really touch the plant material, the oil, but still. Alright, give me just a minute, I'll bring y'all back. Of course, old trusty Sharpie marker. Toothache plant. Infused. Olive oil. 1022. Now you want to make sure, whew, that oil is strong, I'm telling y'all. I can smell it. You can't tell it's olive oil, which is exactly what you want to smell. You don't want to smell the olive oil. You want to smell the herbs that you're using to infuse your oil. Now I done that to distribute the vitamin E throughout the jar, throughout the oil. Each jar you want to label. Toothache plant. Infused olive oil. 1022. And that way there is no doubt of what's in your jar. Make sure your bands are good and tight. you're going to want to store this in a cool, dark place. I'm not taking this internally, y'all. Neither should you. This is going to be added to salve mixtures. Nothing else. Of course, now, later on, as it lowers down, I will try it. Make sure that it does have a numbing effect. Make sure your bands are good and tight, because you wouldn't want your jars to leak. Toothache plant infused olive oil. 10 or whatever month you make it, and the year. Because this is ready to use. It doesn't have to set up because it's already been infused very well. But look how beautiful and dark and rich, and you cannot see through it. You want to make sure that the vitamin E, you don't want to shake it a whole lot, but you want to make sure that vitamin E oil is infused in the oil. Look at that. Is that not beautiful? Pitch black. Pitch black and as strong as can be. And that's what your infused oil should be. This is for external use, everyone. This is not to be taken internally. This is for making salves and possibly a pain massage oil. Simple, easy. Anyone can do this as long as you have the plant material and the olive oil and the vitamin E caps. Anyone can do this. You just have to believe in yourself, and I refuse to allow the frost or the freeze to take my plants this year. I used them all from the roots up. I did not use the roots. I clipped the plants just above, about an inch or so above ground level. I hope this video encourages you to also make your own infused toothache plant oil as well. I look forward to seeing you in my next video. Stay positive, stay safe. Know that you're not alone out there. We're in this together, everyone. Continue to stock your pantries. I look forward to seeing you in my next video. And may you each be blessed. Y'all take care.